And there's already a new summer buzz happening in Russia.
The camera still can't capture it. Boom, bada, boom. A bunch of ambulances. Evacuation has started.
Scary, those rashes.
And we're just getting started. Moscow, the Moscow region, and Kursk are on fire. There are powerful explosions in the Moscow region, and the fire area has grown to 4,000 square meters. The Ministry of Emergency Situations can't cope. Evacuation has started.
Drones are flying around.
The Russian military headquarters in Rilsk has been attacked. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's get started. Lightning, friends, and summer is off to a wonderful start for the Rashists. I prepared a new batch of beta booms across Russia for you.
Film it professionally.
So let's begin, friends. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's go. Residents of Krasnogorsk near Moscow are reporting massive explosions and a fire that can be seen from different parts of the city. Boom, bada, boom. Plumes of smoke outside Moscow. 4,000 square meters are burning. The Ministry of Emergency Situations can't cope. Evacuation of people has begun. Elimination of the Rashists in Rilsk. At night, strike drones hit a hotel where Russian armed forces were located. And that's not all. Russians are writing that unknown drones bombed apartment buildings, private houses, and garages. Of course, all of this is the handiwork of the clumsy air defense of the Rashists. There were also massive raids in neighboring Lviv, where there is also a large number of Russian militants and military equipment. Here too, everything is absolutely and completely on fire. One building has been destroyed. So when it hit, it really hit. At night, some curious Ukrainian drones paid a visit to the Kursk region. Local residents and Telegram channels are posting videos of the fire that resulted from the attack, reportedly at the occupiers' location in Rilsk. Moreover, a railway station near Lviv is also ablaze. Let us remind you that recently, rocket forces and artillery paid a friendly visit to the city of Rilsk, where they sent warm regards to the command post of the Kursk military group of the armed forces of the Russian Federation. And now, there are reports online about new strikes in Rilsk-Kursk region. Things are also unsettled in the Irkutsk region, friends. A locomotive depot is on fire there as well. According to the Ministry of Emergency Situations, there is a fire at the locomotive depot in the city of Tayshe. Agency staff are currently unable to extinguish the flames covering 2,000 square meters. An entire firefighting train has been brought in to help put out the fire. Helicopters, 7 pieces of special equipment, and 16 specialists are working at the scene. It's just an absolute scorcher, a real blaze.
Film it. Professionally.
Meanwhile, Putin's sycophants are threatening that Ukraine will lose Zaporizhzhia, Dnipro, Petrovsk, Sumy, Kharkiv, Odessa, and Mykolaiv. The head of the State Duma Defense Committee, Andrei Kartapolov, switched to scare tactics and declared that delaying a diplomatic solution only worsens the conditions for Ukraine. We'll see.
As for Jeffrey Sachs's statement about Odessa, well, he's a very experienced and knowledgeable person, someone who has spent many years studying global events and international affairs, and who can often accurately predict certain important events due to his deep understanding and expertise. But we've said from the very beginning that every day of delaying a diplomatic solution to this conflict only makes things worse for Ukraine. And this will continue as long as Zelensky's hysterical regime keeps behaving like a delicate young lady. So if they don't want to, well, they'll lose everything. They'll end up without Zaporizhzhia, without Dnipro, Petrovsk, without Sumy, without Kharkiv, and without Odessa, along with Mykolaiv.
Friends, please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Write a few kind words in support of Ukraine in the comments. We work for an audience all over the world so that people know the truth about Russian aggression, about Russia's war against Ukraine. Stay with us. Stay on the side of light. Now, let's take another look at the latest breakdown of new Russian propaganda. Friends, let's go.
As of today, have we gotten any closer to peace or not? If our main trend was...
You still don't understand. Is it you who needs peace?
Me? Everyone needs peace.
No, we need victory. We have a completely different goal. Our goal is to ensure the prosperity of our country and safety for generations to come. If for this purpose, Nazi regimes and the political elites supporting them must cease to exist, then so be it. We do not have the goal of preserving the Ukrainian political nation.
But that's not what we're talking about.
That's why we don't need peace.
So we don't need dialogue.
Victory!
Right now, which everyone is moving towards.
Do you understand? Our conditions are very simple. Our national interests must be upheld. Peace at any cost? A ceasefire? We have never said that. Not once.
When they attacked the Kursk region, it was never said directly, openly, honestly, that of course, once we liberate the Kursk region, don't expect us to just stop at the border. Obviously, we will go further. Well, we said it outright, I'm coming for you. What else? How could we be more honest? What's so devious about that? Now they're surprised. Why us?
They even want to give us the Chernihiv region.
Well, they'll go into that, of course. They're already making plans for Bryansk over there. Yeah, and they'll have to give up Odessa too. Igor Olegovich here can confirm that. At the same time, yes, sometimes voices of, well, common sense do break through. I often quote Professor...
By the way, Chernihiv, my geography is bad. Whose is it?
An ancient Rus city.
Yeah, but where is it now?
Under Ukraine.
That is, well, this is...
Temporarily occupied by Ukraine.
It's Russian, right?
Well, of course.
And Kiev?
Even more Russian. Kiev is more complicated.
What?
How come? The Poles sold Kiev to us.
All the more so.
Right? We paid money for it. So why is someone else living there now?
We'll sell them Lviv now.
No, seriously, who even lives there now? Hey, everyone out of there.
So meanwhile...
Some riffraff moved in. So I suggest we tear it down and build it all over again.
Why tear it down?
Tear it down, tear. That means citizens of Kiev, Chernivtsi, I don't consider you citizens of Ukraine. Residents of Kiev, leave this cursed place immediately.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine today. Join us now.
Look at what's happening on Prospect Mira, not far from their main mosque. On the days when they have Kurban Bayram, there's no traffic on this 12-lane highway. 12 lanes, 6 in one direction and 6 in the other. And from the balconies, people film from the Prospect Mira metro station all the way down Yaroslavskoye highway. You can't see the end. The entire space is covered with people. And these are people, strong, sober men, all of whom practice wrestling, go to gyms and train. It's a whole army. And if one day a mullah orders them to wipe out Muscovites, believe me, they'll do it quickly because the Ministry of Internal Affairs won't even have time to react or handle it. And the result will be very tragic. Why are they so strong? Well, I'll say it again, because they are bound together by a single bond, faith.
In the context of preserving family values, this work should focus on creating a positive image of a prosperous, large family. Some might say that this is boring, that family isn't interesting, that no one will watch such a film, but that's a lie. The longest-running animated film in world history, the American sitcom The Simpsons, has been on the air for almost 40 years now, 36 seasons, 790 episodes, and for 40 years it has shown a loving and strong family with 3 children. Dying Russia has not created anything similar. Our animated films, for all their merits and instructiveness, have not in this sense created an appealing image of an adult and happy family. In the wonderful and educational animated series Smeshariki, the characters may be friends, but they each live alone. They are lonely and happy, but life isn't like that. In the cartoon Masha and the Bear, which is loved by many, Masha is so independent that we don't even know if she has a family, what they look like, or what her father looks like. Once again, I ask you not to take my words as criticism or as a call to change anything in these cartoons. They are useful, educational, but the fact remains, our children and we ourselves do not see ideal families on screen. Families that, through the power of art, could give viewers the experience of family happiness, if they lack that happiness in real life.
Migrants. Migrants, they also, can be different kinds. For example, when it comes to Uzbeks, yes, our region of Yugra and part of the Tyumen region, historically this was the Siberian Khanate. As is known, it was ruled by Khan Kuchum, who was the last ruler. This Shaybanid dynasty, this was the ruling Uzbek dynasty, originating from the Bukhara Khanate. Maybe that's why migrants come here, to their historical homeland.
Let's get to the question.
There is no question. This is just a response to Silkov.
As for Jeffrey Sachs's statement about Odessa, well, he is a very experienced and knowledgeable person. Someone who has spent many years studying international affairs and economics, and who can often accurately predict certain important events due to his deep understanding of global issues. But from the very beginning, we have said that every day of delay in reaching a diplomatic solution to this conflict worsens the conditions for Ukraine. And this will continue as long as Zelensky's hysterical regime keeps behaving like a delicate young lady. So if they don't want to, well, they'll lose everything. They'll be left without Zaporizhzhia, without Dnipropetrovsk, without Sumy, without Kharkiv, and without Odessa and Mykolaiv.
I'll say this, there will never ever be any real or lasting peace in the situation we're in now, together with the West. That needs to be clearly understood. That needs to be understood. And no documents or agreements mean anything at all. That also needs to be, no matter what is promised. Today they promise one thing, tomorrow. Well, that's how all international. And in the context of this conflict with the West, yes, it really is existential, as you like to use those strange words about us. But there are situations when you have to take a pause. That happens too. There are situations when not only they, but we as well need to regroup. Who the hell knows how it will all turn out? I don't know. I'm not offering, so to speak, any solutions.
He told the truth. We need all of Ukraine. We just call it different things. We call it denazification. Try achieving denazification if we don't have political control over that territory. We need demilitarization. Try to achieve demilitarization, that is the absence of military power, in a country that is independent, sovereign, and has NATO support. It's impossible without establishing control over the entirety of that territory. Those people who thought that we were in a position, for example, to stop the war through some kind of diplomatic effort and somehow get out of this, well, that's simply unrealistic. Maybe it would be nice, but it's impossible. We have to rule that out. And in this regard, I think all the parties currently involved in this war, Biden, Zelensky, and Putin, as Trump calls it, but not Trump himself, mind you, are preparing. Yes, and if I may add, in Biden's place now stands the European Union. Well, we are simply preparing for this summer. We are getting ready for decisive military actions. We are gathering our forces.
When everyone everywhere is now writing, well, yes, Ukraine has lost, it's lost. Now the only question is how. Is the map going to look like this, or like this, or like this, or like this? That's how it lost. That's the only question now, isn't it? They miscalculated. Russia continues to work on a draft memorandum regarding a future peace agreement, outlining a number of positions, such as the principles of settlement, possible timelines for concluding a peace agreement, and the potential for a ceasefire for a certain period in the event, let me emphasize, of reaching the appropriate agreements. As soon as the memorandum is prepared, and I want to note that Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov is literally commenting on the progress of this work every day, it will be sent to Kyiv. We expect that the Ukrainian side is doing similar work and will send us their proposals at the same time as they receive the Russian document. So against what backdrop, or rather in what context is all of this happening? We are carefully noting President Zelensky's recent destructive statements, which rather than acknowledging or listening to those individuals and parties who are genuinely attempting to focus their efforts on at least some constructive steps forward or to achieve any tangible results, instead begin to escalate this aggressive and confrontational rhetoric. Furthermore, these statements attempt to shift the blame onto Russia for, as he puts it, prolonging the ongoing conflict, rather than seeking a path toward resolution or meaningful dialogue.
Leonid, before I hand the floor over to you, I'd like to bring up, well, it's the anniversary, if you will, of that famous toast by Comrade Stalin. You know, the one everyone remembers.
Distinguished comrades, allow me to propose once again one more, yes, the final and most significant toast. I would like to sincerely raise a heartfelt toast to the health and well-being truly of our great Soviet people, and above all, to the dear Russian people. First and foremost, I drink to the health of the Russian people, because they are, without a doubt, undeniably the most outstanding nation among all the various nations that constitute the Soviet Union. I raise a toast to the health of the Russian people because in this war they have earned universal recognition as the leading force of the Soviet Union among all the peoples of our country. I raise a toast to the health of the Russian people not only because they are the leading nation, but also because they possess a clear mind, steadfast character, and patience. Our government certainly made quite a few mistakes. There were moments of desperate situation for us in 1941 to 1942, when our army was retreating, leaving behind the villages and cities of Ukraine, Belarus, Moldova, the Leningrad region, the Baltic states, and the Karelo-Finnish Republic that are dear to us. They left because there was no other choice. Another people might have said to the government, "You have not lived up to our expectations. Step aside. We will put in another government that will make peace with Germany and bring us peace." But the Russian people did not do this because they believed in the correctness of their government's policy and were willing to make sacrifices to ensure the defeat of Germany. And this trust of the Russian people in the Soviet government turned out to be the decisive force that ensured the historic victory over the enemy of humanity, over fascism. Thank you to them, the Russian people, for this trust and for their sincere gratitude and appreciation. To the health of the Russian people.
Obviously, artificial intelligence still cannot reproduce Stalin's voice even remotely, unfortunately. But the logic is clear. The demand for victory comes from the people and can be ensured solely by the will of the people.
As for today's VV, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief Vladimir Vladimirovich, he is the one person on whom almost the entire weight of our history rests. If it weren't for him, we would have plenty of traitors, plenty of people eager to surrender to the West. Today, he bears a great burden of responsibility for the existence of Russian civilization. If you've noticed, the deacon mentions not only by name we commemorate only the Holy Patriarch and the Supreme Commander, the head of our state, the servant of God Vladimir. We also mention him by name because right now everything rests on him. He is like a galley slave chained to the oars, rowing this boat called Russia, not letting it crash, you see? Meanwhile, we're relaxing there, everything has been arranged for us. Moscow is beautiful, spotless. There are flowers, ice cream, free concerts, scooters, and boats sailing along the Moskva River. And at the same time, somewhere on the front line, a 19-year-old boy, bleeding out, is defending us, firing back with his comrade against superior enemy forces. And somewhere, in some office, someone is working without sleep, without rest, without a break, so that we can live. And we, like drones, eat, drink, dress up, stroll around, and have fun. And at the same time, someone is fighting for us, building, crying, praying, dying, enduring pain, and so on and so forth. Christians must understand that we are all debtors. We live on borrowed time.